Yeah, Hudson Valley. I'm so excited to be here. It's the first time I've been on a stage live in 2 years, so thank you for being here, and thank you for wearing masks, because it makes me so much more comfortable than everybody else. So yay, because the Hudson Valley rocks. Okay. Hi. So, I was 24 years old. And I had never rebelled, but I had always kind of wanted to. I just felt really locked into this notion that I had to be a good girl. And then my friend Susan called me from New York to tell me about her very exciting new job working as a booker for an escort service. And I was like, what exactly does that entail? And she's like, oh, it's like a receptionist. And I was like, oh my God, bad girl environment, good girl job. It's perfect. I want to do that. Now, I had no idea how to go about doing this, but I was an industrious sort. So I picked up the Philadelphia City paper, which is where I was living at the time, and I started flipping through the adult ads in the back, and I started cold calling escort services, going, hi, do you guys need somebody who might need to answer the phone? Because this is how good girls get things done. And the second escort service I called said, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. Why don't you come on down? And that is how I got my dream job. So Caesar's was run out of this dingy little apartment in what was actually a very, very nice place in Philadelphia, a really nice part of town. The buildings were nice, the architecture was lovely, there was a big fancy new hotel that they had just built next door. I think this escort service wanted to have like that kind of clientele. So I go in and I meet Lou and Bruce in this real dingy apartment, and Bruce is about 40. He's got this sort of florid face and beard and like pinky rings on both his fingers, and he hands me a box of 3x5 cards with girls' names on them, and he goes, okay, this is how this works. A girl wants to work, she calls in, you pull her card, you put it on the desk. Somebody wants to see somebody, guy calls in, you look, you see who you got, you make the match. It's $175 an hour, girl gets 100, we get 75, you get 10 out of that. You write it all down on this list, you leave the list on the desk, you come in the next night, you get your envelope of cash. Clear so far? And he looks over at Lou, who has this like shock of bright white hair and his shirt open to his chest and is wearing a medallion the size of a business card with like a die-cut L'chaim in the middle of it. And Lou just winks at me, and I am charmed. And Bruce says, a couple more things. Number one, you never say the word sex. Anybody says it to you, you act all offended like you don't know what they're talking about. Number two, somebody calls you. They want to know exactly what the girl is going to do with them. They want to pay you in cash. They're calling you from a hotel. That is a cop. You get off the phone. That is a cop. Get off the phone. That usually happens on Thursdays. So I am learning all kinds of new things. And it was actually a really fascinating place to work because the cards with the girls' names on them, they had their regular name, like their real name, and then their working name, if they used a working name, which they didn't always, which was the first thing that surprised me. And their regular and working names, like, I thought their working names were going to be things like Roxy, Luscious, and like Chandelier, something like stuff that we have been taught culturally to think of as like hooker names. But these names were like Monica, Melissa, and I was like, I was in 3rd grade with girls named Monica and Melissa. So all of these preconceived notions are like really being, taken down, which is good. And on the back of the card are like stats about the girls: height, weight, eye color, hair color. Then a little section with any attributes that Lou or Bruce think are relevant, like real pretty and great rack. And then over in the corner, there's a list of things that the girls won't do. And more often than not, this is just a list of names. So I start working there, and it really is kind of this perfect blend of like, I'm kind of a receptionist, but kind of a rebel, and it's all very exciting, and like, and I get a call one day from a guy, and he wants to know exactly what the girl is gonna do with him, and he wants to pay me in cash, and when I ask where he is calling from, he says the fancy hotel next door, and I am like, Vice Cop! Bam! I win! It is so exciting. And I can't believe it because I'm a good girl and now dodging vice cops is my job! It's awesome. And then a couple months in, I get a call from a girl named Denise, who I haven't talked to yet. And I pull her card, and it says, gorgeous, but bitch. And Denise goes, hi, so you're the new girl, huh? Did they tell you what happened to the guy who answered the phones before you? And I was like, no. And she goes, yeah, well, he started working and I stopped getting calls, and I know my regulars didn't suddenly stop calling me, so I know he was playing favorites. So I had a couple guys meet him coming out of the building one night after work. They put him in the hospital. I heard they broke his jaw. Good, I hope that motherfucker starves to death. So just don't play favorites. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do, Denise. And I took a cab home that night and every night after that. And as time went on, like, despite my grand ambitions, like, it really was just kind of a dingy apartment. And because prostitution isn't legal no matter what, it's just got this seedy side. And the apartment was dingy. And somebody started calling me. And, like, I think they just got obsessed with my voice. I don't know what, but I would pick up the phone and they would go... And I was so gross, and I couldn't do anything about it because I had one job, and that job was to answer the phone. So that was terrible, and like I wasn't making as much money as I would hope to be making, and a lot of that was going to cab rides home because I didn't know if I was keeping Denise happy enough. And next door, there is a hotel full of vice cops who are trying to bust me, and if they do, I could actually conceivably be charged with a felony. And it's all like starting to crumble, and I don't know what to do. And I come in one day, and Bruce is still there, which is odd because he's normally gone by the time I show up. And he goes, I got this weird call today from this lady. Said her name was Tracy and she wants to work here, and it sounded a little off. So I asked her, like, has she ever done this kind of work before? And she's knows, like, I gotta see her. She gotta come in so I could see her body and see all that. And like, is this a thing she really knows anything about? And she says, yeah, no. She's never done this work before, but she's 20 and she's a cheerleader and she's got a great body and she just really needs the money. And then she freaks out and she says she's your mom. And then she reams me out for like 10 minutes. And I just gotta know, is she gonna do that? Because I got a business to run, and I can't be running my business if I got your mom calling and yelling at me all the time. So is this gonna happen? And I'm just staring at Bruce because here is the thing. I had a few days earlier told my mom finally where I was working, and I expected that it was gonna be a big problem, and it was. We had a big knockdown, drag-out fight. I did not expect that she was gonna call my boss, posing as a 20-year-old wannabe prostitute cheerleader named Tracy, to star in her own version of To Catch a Predator. Like, I don't know what you are thinking about when this happens, but I'm staring at Bruce and he's staring at me with this pained expression, and I was like, Bruce, No, I can promise you this is never going to happen. Because oddly, my mother had done exactly what my friend Susan had done when I wanted to get in this business, and a mysterious phone call came from somewhere with an option. My mother made a mysterious phone call that got me out of that option, and I looked at Bruce and I said, no, you're not going to ever have to deal with this again. And I took a cab home that night, and the next day I quit. Thank you.